President Biden is proposing a gas tax relief holiday that will last about 3 months. The way this works, guys, is the federal government charges about 18 cents for every gallon sold and 24 cents for every diesel gallon sold. And President Biden is proposing to stop that tax for about 3 months. He would need approval from Congress to do this. This is to combat the high energy prices, the high gas prices that we're seeing, that everyone is feeling the pain for, unless you guys are from New York, like you guys are. But you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is like the smartest move, because right now, like, that's only going to account for like 5%, less than 5% of current prices at most places. The 18 cents. It's not going to make a huge difference. There's a graphic right there that kind of shows you how much of a difference it'll make. If you're filling up $100 a month in gas, it'll make a difference of like less than $5, less than $4. So I don't know if this is like, I don't know if this is the right move. Like, I think that it actually might even backfire, because by reducing the price of gas, or by removing this gas tax, you're obviously reducing funding for infrastructure improvement, but then you're also reducing the price of gas, which will get people to drive more, increase demand, and we might be back to wherever we are right now. So I don't know if this is like the smartest move, or if it's going to be that effective.
Do you think that is this just price gouging or what?
I know you're gonna get that.
What's going?
It's not price gouging. It is not price gouging. All right, guys, it's not price gouging. The narrative has been put out there that the oil and gas companies are price gouging. Now, just to be perfectly clear here, yes, I live in Houston. I have a slight bias toward oil and gas companies. I got laid off from an oil and gas company back in 2014, 2015. So I have a little bit of understanding of how that industry works. It's not price gouging, guys. The way the industry works is oil is a internationally traded commodity. The oil and gas companies don't set the price of a barrel of oil. That is a traded commodity on the free market. And right now, the reason the oil and gas companies are making a lot of money is because the commodity that they sell is trading at a higher price. They don't control that. The OPEC countries have way more influence on that than the oil and gas companies do today. What we have right now is a supply and demand issue, right? There's not enough supply to meet the demand that we have of the demand that is needed right now, and that's why we have increased prices. There's also issues with not enough refineries in the United States. The oil and gas companies haven't made investments in refineries because it's expensive, and also because they kind of really weren't incentivized to do that, because I guess they've been told for the last 5 to 10 years that their industry was going to die. So they haven't made investments. Now we have a supply crunch. The war in Ukraine doesn't help, because Russia was also supplying a lot of oil to the world. That's all stopped, and now we're kind of dealing with this perfect storm of like low supply, high demand. And yes, the oil and gas companies are profiting off that right now. But if you kind of look back at the history, I mean, they were losing billions and billions of dollars going back just a couple of years, because the price of oil was negative. There was no demand for it. So now they're kind of making up for that loss.
So when does this go back to potentially the price lower? Is it when we finally lower supply, or increase supply, or when will prices kind of get back to a more normalized area, if potentially soon? I mean,
so there's a couple of issues, right? So obviously the rig count, basically the number of wells out there, the rig count has increased, right? So oil and gas companies are going out there digging for more wells to increase supply. But we also have a bottleneck in the refineries. I think that, to me, is like the most critical thing. Is like we can't just dig the oil out of the ground and pump it up into our cars. You have to refine the oil, which is then you get the product that then goes into our cars. If we have a bottleneck in refineries, because some of these refineries are old, a lot of them were shut down during COVID and just just shut down permanently. So until we get more refinery capacity, which some of it's supposed to come online, not in the States, but other parts of the world, I think we'll start seeing relief. But I mean, nobody knows how long. I don't know how long this is going to last. It might last a few months, or it might last, maybe even a year plus. So that question, I have no idea.
Fair enough.
Well, it seems a little confusing if this is benefiting anyone at all, or if it's just like a signal to be like, we're trying to do something. Buy more gas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, right? The administration is trying to be like, hey, like we're trying to do something like to help you. I mean, 18 cents isn't going to help that much, but that's just a signal it's more of a politics game. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to make that much of an impact. I think a bigger impact would be if, like, you know, there are probably other ways. I'm not smart enough to figure out a solution to this stuff, but I know that what this is probably not going to make any meaningful impact. Maybe if, like, this is never going to happen, if the U.S. government decided to, like, subsidize refinery construction. Is that ever going to happen? I don't think so. But that's probably what's needed to really help with supply constraints right now.
Well, it seems a little bit like a mess, but moving on. E-commerce giant eBay is continuing its push into digital collectibles by acquiring UK-based NFT marketplace KnowOrgin, according to a press release. KnowOrgin was founded in 2018 and has facilitated $7.8 million in trade volume since its launch, based on figures presented by DAP Radar. So this isn't the first time that eBay has jumped into the NFT game. Last month, eBay released its debut collection of NFTs in partnership with Tezos and Polygon-based NFT platform OneOf. More companies are jumping into NFTs despite this downturn. Maybe it's all the hype from NFT at New York City week this week or something. But is this a good sign for the future, or is this just, you know, an older brand playing catch up to appear innovative?
I think, you know, it is an older brand trying to play catch up. We talked, you know, in our own meetings about, you know, how slow eBay is to move on these sort of things. At least they're taking a bite into, you know, this space, which I think is going to potentially can still be a high growing space, the NFT market. So doing that, they're buying, it seems like the tech, because 7.8 million in trading since 2018 doesn't sound like a lot. So it has to be, they like the platform, they like the tech, and that's why they purchased KnowOrgin. But at least they're doing something. We don't want eBay, a classic name, to go away because they're not moving fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think eBay's like kind of buying the dip here, right? Like, I'm sure the valuation of this company that they bought is probably a lot lower than what it would have been like 6 months ago. And if NFTs do become a solid, become a legitimate platform or a legitimate technology, then it makes sense for eBay to kind of scoop some of this stuff up right now. Build during the bear market. eBay has like the, you know, like the money to do that. You know, acquire, build, and then get ready for the next bull run whenever that may be.
Yeah, I'm starting to get convinced that these brands and I don't want to bring it to the celebrities, but I guess these brands, right? These older brands are just doing what it takes to stay relevant, and jumping into NFTs is just like guaranteed headline in the news. So that seems like maybe the consensus here, but we'll see.
How much did they buy them for?
I think the details of the transaction were not disclosed.
Love to know.
Yeah,
so we have no idea.
Purchase price was.
Build during the bear. I like that.
There you go.
So moving on to medicine. Medicare could save $3.6 billion buying generic drugs from none other than Mark Cuban. A study from researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, they recently published that highlighted inefficiencies in the way Medicare currently pays for generic drugs. The company was actually founded by Dr. Alex Oshmansky, a radiologist, who told Cuban about this concept. So how does Mark Cuban's new online pharmacy work? Cost Plus Drug is competing with pharmacy benefit managers like Rite Aid and Walgreens. They're looking to give consumers access to hundreds of generic medications, often less than what their insurance deductibles and copay would total. So Cost Plus has a 15% markup, plus a $3 dispensing fee and a $5 shipping fee. If you look at that chart right there, showing the difference between how Cost Plus operates versus the traditional pharmacy benefit management system works. Really convoluted on the other side, a little bit less convoluted on the Cost Plus side. So it's been blowing up on social media. Just me following Mark Cuban and seeing him tweet about it, so I go, that's blowing up. But it is happening. So could this disrupt the current pharma model, Zaid and Nicole? I'm not sure, but it looks kind of interesting.
I mean, I'm happy he's doing it, right? Like, I mean, this is great. We're getting cheaper pharmacies. Talking about an industry that price gouges. I mean, the pharmacy industry. My God.
And that needs innovation.
I'm happy that Mark Cuban is doing this. Like, I think I saw a tweet earlier where someone was like, Mark Cuban is the billionaire that we all think that Elon Musk is. Like, he's like actually doing something like good stuff with like his time and money, and the fact that he's trying to disrupt this ginormous industry that has a lot of issues. And man, I mean, this is awesome to see. And I really hope that the company can continue to grow and continue to provide cheap medication, because this is, I think it's going to impact a lot of people in a positive way.
I really like the way you put that, Zaid. And right, like look at a billionaire actually like kind of taking an industry and really doing what he can to innovate it, to disrupt it, to make it more efficient. And but be careful, Zaid. The Elon Musk fans are going to come after you with that. We're going to take that clip and and put that. But I mean, but well said, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mark Cuban is still going to try to make money from this, like some way, somehow, right? There's, you know, he's a capitalist. He's going to try to make money, but the fact that he's still trying to like do this, and he found a way to like still have a good business model, and not try to make like 8,000% profit that some of these pharmacists, you know, like the Pharma Bros, like the perfect example of that, right? Like, so really hoping that Cuban is successful here. I'm not hoping that his Dallas Mavericks are successful, because that's, you know, a rival to my Houston Rockets. But I'm hoping that he's successful with this pharmacy company.
We're all hoping that he will be successful with it. So guess what? That does it for the show today. We do this every weekday. Tap in with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We'll see you tomorrow.
We out.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in every day. Also hit that like, subscribe, and notification buttons. We'll see you tomorrow.